So we need to look at things. First of all, I want us to look at how much we're affected by the things that bother us, the anxiety, the depression, the whatever. Some of us, we live in a world right now that more people are taking antidepressants. And more people are tired than ever before. I mean, we got people that sit in air-conditioned offices all the time and punch buttons on computers, and they're just dead dog tired all the time. It's the stress. I don't know if you know what stress does to your body, but when you stress, what happens is that, have you ever noticed sometimes my wife is a jaw clencher. Any of y'all that? I mean, I can always tell when my wife's having some anxiety because I could be laying beside her and she's asleep and she's like this and you can hear her teeth, going. Have you ever noticed that sometimes when you're stressed out, you notice that you're holding something real tightly, or that your jaw gets aching, or that you get headaches or whatever? What happens is when you're stressed, the muscles in your body, they tense up. And the hard thing about that, and the reason why people that get stressed have problems with heart attacks and all that, is your muscles tighten up, and they tighten up on your blood vessels. Well, guess what happens when your blood vessels get tightened up? It's like when you take a water hose and you squeeze it, it builds up pressure, and your heart has to actually work harder. So your heart's having to work harder, and all your other organs are having to work harder, and they're not getting blood like they're supposed to. And that's why they say nowadays that most disease, or they say, is related to some kind of stress in our lives. But what happens is as Christians, we just kind of ignore it, and we go on and we live joyless lives, and we struggle all the time, and we struggle with things like resentment, regrets, and remorse. We're always jealous about what everybody else is getting and what we're not getting, and why they get to do that and we don't get to do this, and we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and we've got the regrets of the things that we've done in our life, and we wish that we had tried harder, we wish we had done better, we wish we had gone to this school, we wish we had taken that job, and then the remorse we have because of the things that we've done, and those are the things that the devil throws at you constantly, and I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be laying in bed at night, and you're trying to get peaceful, and you're trying to calm down, and you're trying to go to sleep, and those things just run through your mind. And all of a sudden you feel dark, and you feel not worthy, and you know what I'm talking about. And it messes with our relationship with each other bad, but it really messes with our relationship with God. But God wants us to be healed. Look at Psalm 147:3. And you know what it's like. When you're a parent, there's nothing that bothers you more than your kid being picked on, or not getting what they want, or being hurt really badly, or being sick. Didn't you just hate it when your kids were sick and you just felt terrible for them as you're sitting there holding them while they're throwing up, or when they're running fever or whatever? And God feels that way about us. He doesn't want us to be brokenhearted. Look what Psalm 147 says, verse 3. He heals the brokenhearted, and He bandages our wounds. That's God's desire for us. Not to make you... one of the things that God used to drive me toward being a pastor and is sitting in counseling session after counseling session after counseling session with people, and realizing that when most people hurt, they don't run to God or the church. They run away from God and the church. That still bugs me today. Most people run from church and run from God and run from anything that would heal them and connect them because of their past and the way the enemy tries to tell them that they're just sorry and they're not worth nothing. But God wants to heal. And if there's anything learned, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm still a worrier. I mean, it worries me that I worry. You know what I'm saying? But when I can stop and refocus, and I'm telling you, the more stressful it is, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's easy to turn to God and get peace, but other times you turn to God and you beg and you're struggling and you're stressing.